Hello students, our topic is Waste Control and Sanitation Government Regulations for Quality Standards. Our objectives are how to control the food waste, sanitation, government regulations for quality standards. Waste control. During food waste, generally food loss or food loss waste is food that is discarded or lost uneaten. The causes of food waste or loss of numerous and occur at the stages of production, processing, retailing and consumption. So, during the causes of production in developing and developed countries which operate either commercial or industrial, agricultural, food waste can occur at most stages of the food industry and in significant amounts. From planting, crops can be subjected to pest infestations and severe weather which cause losses before harvest. Since natural forces, example temperature and precipitation, remain the primary drivers of crop growth, losses from these can be experienced by all forms of outdoor agriculture. The use of machinery in harvesting can cause waste, as harvesters may be unable to discern between ripe and immature crops or collect only part of a crop. Economic factors such as regulations and standards for quality and appearance also cause food waste. Farmers often harvest selectively, preferring to leave crops not to standard in the field where they can be used as fertilizer or animal feed, since they would otherwise be discarded later. During food processing, food waste continues in the post-harvest stage, but the amounts of post-harvest loss involved are relatively unknown and difficult to estimate. Regardless, the variety of factors that contribute to food waste, both biological, environmental and socio-economical, would limit the usefulness and reliability of general figures. In storage, considerable quantitative losses can be attributed to pests and microorganisms. This is a particular problem for countries that experience a combination of heat around 30 degrees centigrade and ambient humidity between 70 and 90%. As such conditions encourage the reproduction of insect, pests and microorganisms. Losses in the nutritional value, caloric value and edibility of crops by extremes of temperature, humidity or the action of microorganisms also account for food waste. These qualitative losses are more difficult to assess than quantitative losses. Further losses are generated in the handling of food and by shrinkage in weight or volume. Some of the food waste produced of the finished product. During retailing, packaging protects food from damage during its transportation from farms and factories via warehouses to retailing, as well as preserving its freshness upon arrival. Although it avoids considerable food waste, packaging can compromise efforts to reduce food waste in other ways, such as by contaminating waste that could be used for animal feedstocks. Retail stores can throw away large quantities of food. Usually, this consists of items that have reached their best before, sell by or use by dates. Food that passed the best before and sell by date, and even some food that passed the use by date, is still edible at the time of disposal. But stores have widely varying policies to handle the excess food. Some stores put effort in preventing excess to poor or homeless people, while others work with charitable organizations to distribute food. Retailers also contribute to waste as a result of their contractual arrangements with suppliers. Failure to supply agreed quantities renders farmers or processors liable to have their contracts cancelled. As a consequence, they plan to produce more than actually required to meet the contract, to have a margin of error. Surplus production is often simply disposed. During consumption, the causes are empirical evidence show that drivers of consumer food waste, even in a low middle income context that includes are stocking too much food, over preparing or not cooking it properly, example burning of food, leaving food on dishes after meals or not willing to consume leftovers, decaying of prepared food after long or inappropriate storage, excessive purchasing, over preparation and unwillingness to consume leftovers are some of the main antecedents of food waste. As author Gustav Porpino states that they are embedded in culture practices such as hospitality, the good mother identity, taste for abundance, and food seen as wealth. Food waste management strategy. Reducing food waste disposal at landfills is an important part of the government's plan for waste management, and administration has adopted a multi-pronged approach to tackle food waste problem, with main focus on avoidance of food waste generation and reduction at source. Food waste control remedies which food manufacturers can bring into practice. Extend shelf life through packaging and processing innovation by providing more secure and airtight packaging as much as possible, through which its expiry date can be increased, because cutting down the packaging for it costs sometimes results in unhealthy food. Providing clear dates labels, that is clear, consistent and easy to read labels can help consumer and sellers to easily determine the expiry date of food. Now we will see about the package sizes. Manufacturers should make their product in different sizes so consumers can easily pick the right size according to their need, so they can utilize the product before it gets expired. Make dispensing food easier. In this, manufacturer should make a food container in a way from which consumer can easily dispense according to their demand and keep the rest for future use in a safe and secure manner. Storage and cooking information. During this, the causes food packaging should come from with the easy to read information regarding storage, freezing, defrosting and cooking in a safe, a hygienic way. How can we stop food waste? Because we all waste food for different reasons. There will be different ways for each of us to stop the food we waste. Knowing what works for everyone is impossible, so to really make a last change, you need to consider how you manage your food from start to finish. Consider the following: know your waste, planning, shopping, storage, cooking. The first step is know your food waste. To stop food waste, first become aware of what and how much you throw out. So here the points under this step are: separate your food waste. Put your food waste into a separate container to see how much you really waste. Record your waste. To remember the food you threw out, make a note out of it. Identify the reasons. If you know what and why you throw out, you can work towards stopping it. Next step is planning. Good planning makes life easier, saves you money and reduces food waste. In this step, the points include are: know your cupboard. Example, you are seeing here, one lady is seeing her cupboard. Before you step outside your door, know what you really should have in it. And the next one is make your plan. A sure way to reduce food waste is to plan your meals properly. Next point is write your list. A properly planned shopping list will save your time, money, and help you stop food waste. Next step is shopping. This is one place you waste food before you even buy it. Buyer beware. Under this, first point is before be prepared. Know what you need before you go and don't shop on an empty stomach. If you shop on empty stomach, you may buy more products and the food may go waste. Next point is during be strong. You have your list, stick to it, and beware, bargain buys often go to waste. So all the retailers or shopping people will give the deals like buy two get one free. So if we go and buy those kind of food products, that food may go waste. And the next point is after how much you have saved. Shorter receipts, lighter bins, have a look and see what you have saved. Next step is storage. Make the most of what you have bought and give your food a good home. Under this, first point is store it right. Knowing the right place for the right food is the half battle will be solved. Next point is use it right. Don't get caught out. Know your dates and use your friends, the fridge and freezer. Whenever the foods have been leftovers or not been used properly, those foods can be used in a proper way by get together parties, by calling your friends and family relatives. Next point is make it last. There are many great ways to preserve your food, but you don't know how. So the containers which you are going to use for food storage, that will lead to not to have the food waste. Next step is cooking and serving. Now to the tastiest part of shopping food waste, the eating part. The first point is proper portions. An overloaded plate leads to an overloaded bin. Know your portions. So can you see here one pig with small kid with big burger. So during this time we have to give whatever the age group is there, we have to give that much portion of the food to that age group in order to waste the food. Next point is serving and reuse. Learn about the magic art of the loaves and fishes. Next point is random recipes. There are many ways to cook expert, so check out our recipe section which has recipes for. Next topic is food sanitation. Food sanitation is the practice of following certain rules and procedures to prevent the contamination of food, keeping it safe to eat. What is the importance of food safety and sanitation? Food safety is essential in protecting individuals from bacteria and parasites that can be passed through the food consumption. By practicing safe food handling, illness and fatalities can be prevented. Safe food handling begins at production and continues through the preparation process. If unsafe handling food has occurred at any stage, there could be a potential of danger. Thus, food sanitation involves the following aspects. First one, maintenance of clean premises. Health and cleanliness of people who handle of food. The provision of potable water supply. Cleanliness in handling and storage of raw foods. Prevention of contamination of the foods at all stages in preparation from equipment, personnel and vermin. Cleanliness in service of food. Safe disposal of food waste. Inculcation of hygienic habits would help in preventing foods from being contaminated during handling. The primary rule of sanitation is to pay strict attention to food temperatures. Avoid prolonged holding in the danger zone, that is from 40 degrees Fahrenheit to 140 degrees Fahrenheit. Provide functional thermometers to all food storage boxes. Monitor the temperature on serving lines on a regular frequency. Thaw frozen foods under refrigeration or under cold water. Do not thaw foods at room temperature. Now see about the sanitary facilities. Washrooms, lunchrooms, change rooms. Self-closing doors must be provided for all washroom facilities. Washrooms, lunchrooms and change rooms must be separate from and not directly entered from food processing and handling areas. Such facilities are to be properly ventilated and maintained. Hand washing facilities. Sufficient number of hand washing sinks with hot and cold potable water, soap, sanitary hand drying supplies or devices must be provided in washrooms. Sufficient and suitably located hand washing sinks are also necessary in food processing and handling areas. Hand washing sinks should be separate from sinks used for equipment, cleaning and other operations. So 5 essential tips for effective sanitation. There are 3 main types of hazards or contaminants that can cause unsafe food through biological, chemical and physical. Biological includes microorganisms, chemical includes cleaning solvents and pest control, and physical means hair, dust and other matter. 5 frequently mentioned sanitation tips to prevent foodborne illness in food service and retail business. They are: proper personal hygiene, including frequent hand and arm washing and covering cuts; proper cleaning and sanitizing of all food contacts, surfaces and utensils; proper cleaning and sanitizing of food equipment; good basic housekeeping and maintenance; food storage for the proper time and at safe temperatures; list of diseases caused by lack of sanitation. Relevant diseases and conditions caused by lack of sanitation and hygiene include are waterborne diseases which contaminate drinking water, disease transmitted by the fecal oral route, infections with intestinal helminthes, that is worms. Approximately 2 billion people are infected with soil transmitted helminthes worldwide. They are transmitted by eggs present in human feces, which in turn contaminate soil in areas where sanitation is poor. Stunted growth in children, malnutrition, particularly in children. The list of diseases that could be reduced with proper access to sanitation and hygiene practices is very long. For example, in India, 15 diseases have been listed which could be stamped out of by improving sanitation. First one is anemia, malnutrition. Next one is ascariasis, a type of intestinal worm infection. Campylobacteriosis, cholera, cyanobacteria toxins, dengue, hepatitis, Japanese encephalitis, leptospirosis, malaria, ringworm or tinea, a type of intestinal worm infection, scabies, cysticercosis, trachoma, typhoid and paratyphoid enteric fever. Government regulations for quality standards. So here you have to learn about the food laws. Today, food safety is an important global issue with international trade and public health implications. Governments all over the world are intensifying their efforts to improve food safety. Effective means of food quality can be achieved by legislative measures, certification schemes, and public participation and involvement in the program. The central government under the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare has established a body known as Food Safety and Standard Authority of India to perform the functions assigned under the Food Safety and Standard Act. This consolidates various acts that were handled food related issues in various ministries of departments. Acts like Prevention and Food Adulteration Act 1954, Meat Food Products Order 1973, Vegetable Oil Products Order 1947, Edibles Oil Packaging Regulation Order 1988. Food Safety and Standards Authority of India lays down science-based standards for articles, food and to regulate their manufacture, storage, distribution, sale and import to ensure availability, safe and wholesome food for human consumption. Food Safety and Standards Act. The Act also aims to establish a single reference point for all matters relating to food safety standards by moving from multi-level, multi-departmental control to a single like command. Food Safety and Standards Authority of India and the state food safety authorities shall enforce various provisions of the Act. It extends to the whole of India. Food Safety and Standards Act 2006 become operational in the entire country from 5th August 2011. Food Sanitation Act. Under Article 1, the purpose of this Act is to contribute to the improvement of public health by preventing sanitary risk caused by foods, promoting the quality, improvement of food nutrition and giving accurate information on foods. Article 2. The terms used in this Act shall be defined as follows. The term food means all kinds of food and beverages excluding foods and beverages taken as medicine. The term food additives means materials added to or mixed with foods or materials used for wetting foods in the process of manufacturing, processing or preservation of foods. In such cases, food additives shall include materials used in sterilizing or disinfecting apparatus, containers or packages which may be transmitted to foods in an indirect manner. The term risk means harmful factors existing in foods, food additives, apparatus, containers or packages which have caused or may cause risk on human bodies. The term labels means characters, figures or diagrams labeled on foods, food additives, apparatus, containers or packages. The term nutrition labeling means labeling of nutrition information such as the quantity of nutrients contained in foods. The term business means collecting, manufacturing, importing, processing, cooking, storing, subdividing, transporting or selling food or food additives or manufacturing, collecting foods belonging to the agricultural or fishery industry. The term business operator means a person who has obtained a business license under Article 37(1). So, now you have learned about the food loss or food loss. Waste is food that is discarded or lost uneaten, and the causes of food waste during the production, processing, retailing and consumption, and how to control the food waste. And then you have learned about the food sanitation and regulation of the quality standard control programs. Thank you, students.